Welcome to the Most High Podcast. I gotta reshoot this whole audio clip that I just done because I did it with my headphones on and there was a lot of static in the background. And now I'm gonna just re-record pretty much the topics I was talking about. My topic today was pretty much black male leadership, black leadership within the community, and how we have been brainwashed and misguided like it's not amongst us, and it's really the greatest force still left in American leadership. And I just wanted to give a couple examples based off of the current events that's been happening while I haven't done any videos and what's happening over the last week. You know, this last week that just happened, we watched Travis Hunter win the Heisman Trophy. He was the real first two-way athlete to ever win it in such fashion that he did, and he shined on an extra bright stage, on an extra bright level. And the only way, I ain't gonna say the only way it was capable was Deion Sanders, because of course Travis Hunter had to put in the work himself to get to that level, but a lot of coaches wouldn't have let him do what he done. And I'm gonna start this whole video off with just the black male leadership, and I'm gonna start off with Deion Sanders and Colorado and everything that just happened there. We just watched a man that, okay, first we can start off at Jackson State. First we can start off with Deion Sanders himself. A very, very bright figure, bright personality, very charismatic, always been a leader, a shining individual, right? Even when he ran his 40-yard dash and when he went to Florida State, he showed up with his gold chains in the limo and ran the fastest 40 all time. It's that personality, it's that charisma in a black man, it's that charisma in a black man that this world would rather watch America crash and burn than let that charisma rise and lead this nation. So when it comes to Deion Sanders, we looking at a man that was one of the greatest athletes in American history, right? Went to a World Series in baseball. If they would have won, he would have won MVP. He won 2 Super Bowls. He won for 2 teams. He played 2 ways. He even played kick return. He's an All-American track star. Just a dominant man right there, right? If he was in the Greek times, he would have been the most well-renowned ancient Greek Olympian of all time, right? He's a hell of an athlete, right? But Deion has more than just his athletic abilities. He had a hell of a personality as well. So he started this journey by raising his kids, of course, even his oldest son, Deion Jr. that run all the media platform, and which is very impressive as well. That just show you just what a real man, a real leader could do. You know what I'm saying? But Deion, he raised his boys up, raised them the right way, put them through his program, of course, the Deion Sanders program. You know, I played for Coach Carr, Percy Carr. He had a program, but he put them through the Deion Sanders program, and he raised great men, and he raised them to be football players. And his oldest son running the media. He raised them to do what they do, right? So Deion ended up getting to that level where his boys going to college and he wanted to coach them. He didn't have his degree. Jackson State put a program in for him to go speed through and get his degree. He got his bachelor's, and they took a risk on him. And he also took a risk on Jackson State because he's Deion Sanders, one of the greatest of all time. You know, it was a win. It was a symbiotic relationship there. It was a win-win for both. So Deion went to Jackson State, and he completely changed the landscape of college football instantly, right? Well, he changed the landscape of college football, him being a black man. When he came into the fold, we watched him take Jackson State and become one of the most recognizable football programs in America, right? So Jackson State, they redeveloped their program. They become a talked about, a household name in America, and ESPN playing their games and everybody keeping up with them. And we watching this unfold, right? So all of a sudden, Deion pulls off a hat trick. You know what I'm saying? He gets one of the number one recruit to come to HBCU, the first of all time, Black history. Shout out, big kudos to Travis Hunter for being a real one, right? Travis Hunter comes to the HBCU. They have a great seasons. They won a lot of games at Jackson State. They put on, even when the city was dirtying up the water out there in Jackson for the residents of Jackson, Mississippi. Deion had to be a leader in the community. He had to be a leader on the field. He had to be a leader for his own boys and for his family, right? He come there, he changed the whole landscape of HBCU football. I call it Promonomics, right? So Deion put Promonomics on Jackson State and the city of Jackson, Mississippi, because he brought all eyes to Mississippi, the South, the deep South, the deepest, right? He bring all eyes on Jackson, Mississippi. So I'm going to rewind just a little bit, and I'm going to go back to Black leadership before I finish this story on Deion Sanders. We get to 2008, and we just came out of a very, very strange political climate with the Democrats and the Republicans and everything like that. But let's go back to 2008. I feel like I didn't vote this last political election because I'm looking at both candidates, and I look at myself as a leader, and I'm looking at them. Neither one of them more of a leader than I am. So I didn't vote. They just didn't catch my attention like that. But in 2008, this country was so excited for change. I remember being in high school and Obama was running the first time, and everybody wanted Obama to win because we was tired of the same old. We wanted change, right? We wanted change in this country. And if you look at the demographics who really voted for Obama, it was a lot of young white Americans that voted for Obama. And a lot of young white women as well. And what that shows you, a white woman does not have a problem with looking at a black man as her leader, right? So if Obama did this in 2008, got reelected in 2012, why would the Democratic Party stray away from putting a nice, handsome, well-spoken, educated black man back in office? Because neither side, Democrat nor Republican, could take the fate of this country being handed the keys over to a black man to reconstruct this country. And that's what this country is begging for. Now, when you look on from 2008 to 2016, that's when the last greatest movies and art and music and culture and everything, good times, came out of America. If you look at the list of albums that came out in that time, or the list of basketball championships that came out during that time, or just pop culture period in America, yeah, we was probably fucking up the rest of the world. And that's just another topic at hand. I'm talking America. But just the culture and the vibes being in America at that time was beautiful, right? So now we fast forward a little bit. And now this before Deion Sanders, I'm gonna break down another angle of black man leadership in America and what this country was begging and thirst, like our thirst needed to be quenched by something different, something new. We needed that real, what the whole world knows, the man that built the pyramid. We needed that. Everybody needed that. You know what I'm saying? We hided the truth for so long, and we deny it, and we try to act like it's not what it is. But let's give another example. These are major events that changed the landscape on how this country operated for so long, and it all changed from just a couple black men just in recent times, right? The next example was LaVar Ball, the great and oh so mighty LaVar Ball. The man that raised 3 boys up and said he gonna put them all in the league and all his boys can play. So LaVar Ball he put all 3 of his boys at Chino Hills out there on the west side in California, and all 3 of his boys they won the state championship at Chino Hills. And then Lonzo went off and got a scholarship to UCLA, being one of the top guards in the nation at the time. And Jello led California the next season at Chino Hills. He led the state in scoring, and he got a scholarship to UCLA. And then you had LaMelo, the youngest one, right? Shooting shots from half court, dropping 92 points and shit like that in high school. I remember all that shit because we watched that. This was the end of that basketball grind. We watched that grind from when they was little boys to making it to the league, right? It was like a Hoop Dreams documentary type shit. So we watched them. All right, so then when they got to, then we seen Jello get caught up in college, got in a little trouble and shit like that in China. But we watched this black man, even and it's crazy because he came almost words to words with Donald Trump and this whole bigger system because a black man wouldn't bow down. But at UCLA, Jello got caught up stealing. So that kind of blackballed him from making it to the league because this system didn't want three brothers with a father like that to represent them and be in the league. Because what he did was, with the youngest one, he took him out of high school. He said, no more making money off my son. We make the money now. We start big. We the brand. We the owners. We the bosses. Big baller brand style. You know what I'm saying? We take our brand with us on the road. He took his boys to Lithuania. Balled out. Made Lithuania a lot of money. I call that ballonomics right there. You know what I'm saying? He made Lithuania a lot of money. Then he took his boys and he started his own league. Now, when you put that on the beginning of it, that's when shit changes. When he started his own league shortly after, guess what happened? When LaMelo didn't go to college, they changed the whole system. Now players can get paid in college because LaVar Ball, when he started his league, he said, even if you're not top tier high school player, you can come to my league and you can get paid now. And you can play in the big baller league. And instead of going to college, after all the people out there needing money, y'all can play in my league. And soon after that, the college started playing players. The NBA said you can't go out of high school no more, but you can come to G League at night and get paid. Why did they start the G League Ignite? That was only to counteract what LaVar Ball was doing. Why did they pay players in college? That was only to counteract what LaVar Ball was doing. So, perfect storm happened. LaVar Ball kicked in the door, opened the door. And you know what that did? That opened up the transfer portal. That opened up a lawsuit where former players got paid, right? That opened up all that. LaVar Ball threw the alley hoop to all these college students now getting money, right? And they're not going to say it's him. They, of course not, because they'll never get a black man his credit for building the pyramids, right? But LaVar Ball opened up that door, and it was a perfect storm in time because at the time, Deion Sanders is cooking over there at Jackson State. And by the time they opened up the door for him at Colorado, that transfer portal was open. And a state like Colorado was begging for black leadership. They needed it, just like this country needed it with Obama, just like this country needed it now. They opened up that door for Deion Sanders, and the rest is history. Now you got 2 AP All-Americans, 2 first-round draft picks. You got a Heisman Trophy winner. You got the promonomics at Colorado is crazy. He done sold so many jerseys. He done sold out the stands. They got every primetime game. Every celebrity want to be on the field, and all eyes are tuned in. The new recruits that's coming into college, they all want to go play for Deion. And he showed, see, I don't know what happened with Travis Hunter and his father growing up, but he got real emotional when he got on stage and he spoke about his dad. And it really touched me. This young man didn't write a speech or nothing. He wanted it to be real. Because, you know what I'm saying, that's what it is. It's a Florida boy. He wanted it to be real. So he went out there and he spoke on his dad, right? And he cried when he spoke on his dad. And this is the most important point right here. Nick Saban was a great coach. I loved him. You know what I'm saying? Nick Saban, he was a good coach. But this is why they retired. This why Coach K retired. This why Nick Saban retired. Yeah, all these coaches retired when LaVar Ball kicked in the door, players can get paid, and then when Deion came in. Because the truth is, Nick Saban, the white man, can't be dominant like a black man can. It just is what it is. And they didn't want to compete for real because they knew they couldn't compete for real. They blackballed us out from leadership, from quarterback. You know what I'm saying? They blackballed us out from head coach for so long because they knew if a real leader, they know what a real leader looks like. They know what a real dominant man looks like. And when Deion Sanders came in, they had to run away. They had to retire because now they can't explain, because they always gave players money. Alabama, these big schools, Texas, all these big-time colleges always paid their players. But they couldn't be a father figure. They couldn't connect like Deion connects to Travis Hunter. They couldn't be a father figure and a mentor. They couldn't be somebody that looked like them, that come from the same struggles, that come from the same neighborhoods, that come from the same parts of town, that speak the same language, that's going to come to the Heisman Championship ceremony with a gold bracelet and a gold chain and a fur coat. You know what I'm saying? That's going to look like your uncle. That's going to look like your father. They can't compete with that. They can't compete with hip hop. They can't compete with the charisma that Deion Sanders have. They can't compete with the charisma that LaVar Ball has. They can't compete with the charisma that Barack Obama had. It was too smooth. It was too liking. Women would like it too much. So you know what they did? They didn't elect another black man to run the Democratic Party. Since then, they chose two women. Two women and an old white man. You know what they did since LaVar Ball started his own league? They banned him from ESPN. They don't want the people to hear his message because he's preaching ownership. He's preaching change. When you see a man come through and raise his boys the right way, they all got their wives. Nobody doing nothing bad. Nobody has a criminal record in and out of trouble. These are nice, respectable, modeled, well-fashioned, groomed young men doing the right thing. LaVar Ball and his boys, Deion and his boys, Barack and his girls. But this system will hate to see that. They would hate to see leadership come from that end. They would rather destroy the whole thing. And that's exactly what you see happening. But as you see this whole thing crumbling, you see these little bright spots on what shit could be. When you look at Deion, imagine Deion, the president of the United States of America. You don't think this whole country would want to get up and get on a fitness plan? You don't think we will all be out here vibing? You don't think it'll be prime time America? You know, imagine LaVar Ball being the president of this country. And yeah, mass media and everybody would say it's stupid. But that man was a leader enough to get all his boys in professional sports. And not only that, changed the whole system. The whole system changed because of him. So when you look at leaders, you want leaders because you want change. You don't want leaders to do the same shit that everybody been doing for hundreds of years and everybody depressed and sad and going through mental health now. No, we want leaders because you want change. And you can see those few bright spots of change happening, even though we're in a world of chaos, because everything has been tumbling down since this change of leadership started happening. But that's all I wanted to tap into, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe this video. Tap into the podcast, leave comments. Yeah, you can cash at me as well. You know, I'm back, man. I'm going to start making videos again and giving back to the people, man. I got my bookstore and my art gallery finally set up nice. You know, well, not set up nice. Well, just set up in a position enough where I can sit back and listen to the birds and record with y'all again and tap into my thoughts again. Appreciate it, man. One.